still got a couple more cards. That same night, September the 5th, November the 5th, that's bonfire night over here in the UK. Fireworks everywhere. David Morrell versus... I'm not going to pronounce that name. That's not going to happen.
Ooh.
Alex, you can give that one a go for us.
Oh man, I was hoping you go to Josh. He's good with him. What is that? Eidos?
I was
Yerbossynuly?
trying to say it. I was trying to say it earlier. I'm not. Yerbossynuly. I'm guessing Yerbossynuly.
We'll go with
I'm
that.
sure Boz would know how to say it properly
Yeah,
because
Boz is
he's
probably
just as
like,
great with
silly Americans.
that.
Well, he's from the Kazakhstan, so yeah, the land of unpronounceable names for us English folk,
For our English speakers,
speaking.
English.
Yeah. So yeah, this looks like, well, on paper it looks like a tough test for Morrell. He's only 7-0, 6 knockouts, but he's looking good. It's your boy Alex. I think you're quite high on him, aren't you, from memory? So yeah, give us your thoughts on this one. He's going to win. I assume that's what you think.
It's tough to predict because I've never seen the opponent, Eidos, the young man from Kazakhstan,
Yep.
the Kazakh, right? I'm sorry. Before we went live, I tried to, I spoke on it. It was really hard to research him.
Okay. Yep.
Without just getting information. I know that he was a national champion. I believe he won like some second and third place in national tournaments, and but he was seen as this big amateur. And actually, I got a quote that I read for him where he said he's the descendant of Genghis Khan. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, David Morrell, I'm sure he wouldn't have been put in this fight if he wasn't seen as the favorite. I couldn't even find odds on this. This is a very I guess low key fight in the boxing world. But I'm gonna stick behind everything I say with David Morrell. I think this is gonna be a test for him. They actually share a common opponent, Lennox Allen. David Morrell boxed him out for 12 rounds, and Eidos got him out of there. So really interesting. This might be a sleeper with the hype behind this kid, Eidos. They say he's in Las Vegas tearing crap up. So yeah, man, I think it's definitely something to tune into. I look forward to it, and I look forward to seeing David Morrell with his hand up.
Cool. Sounds like a good test. Then if he was taking on this kind of test early doors, that's a good sign. Always like that. Match him hard. Jason Rosario's also on that undercard. He's had a couple of wins since. Who did he lose to after winning the title?
Charlo.
Took the title, and then he lost to Lubin.
Erickson Lubin as well.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah.
So
they say he blows up, man, in between fights, and that's what his biggest problem. It's not really his skills; it's his sport.
The lifestyle. Okay, gotta live it, man. Brian Mendoza is his opponent. Not too familiar with Brian Mendoza, to be honest. Josh, go ahead.
Brian Mendoza is a late replacement. It was supposed to be the Cuban dude, Yoelvis Gomez.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar. Well, I am familiar with Thomas Lamanas. He got a win over him. I'm not familiar with Mendoza off top for sure, but certainly Jason Rosario. Yeah, he looked very promising at times. So we'll see what he looks like. Those 3 wins that he has gotten, they have been in the Dominican Republic. So he got. Looks like TKO in at least 2 of them. So it'll be interesting to see what he looks like and if he be TKO in all 3. So we'll see if he's going to become a player again here as far as the title is concerned. But yeah, certainly we'll see what Banana does. One of the best nicknames in boxing.
Sure. Alex, did you have any thoughts on that one? And any of these of the main undercard, go for it.
Yeah, you see the name Julian Williams. He's on there. We mentioned him last time. I think it was supposed to be a TBA, and I think that fight got canceled.
It must have done, yeah. He was only a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Right. And, Andre Durrell, who I don't think really should be boxing anymore. He's fighting Yunekis Gonzalez. Yunekis, man. I remember when he first came on the scene. He's a Cuban dude. Really nice, exciting style. I mean, he's fierce in there. I felt like he was robbed against Jean Pascal. And then, he did lose to Oleg. What is his name? Alexander Goskic.
Yeah,
yeah. And then also more recently, Gilberto.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a couple decent names there, and these are familiar names that have been on TV, so it's a decent card.
Yeah, yeah, not bad. I was surprised too to see Andre Durrell there. This Andre Durrell Uneski Gonzalez fight in general. But yeah, I mean, we're turning back the clock a little bit. Gonzalez did look pretty decent. He lasted a little bit longer against Zerto Ramirez than I thought he would. So he had a little something left there, and we'll see what it is with Durrell. Of course, he was very promising early on, especially when coming out of the Olympics and then being in the Super Six, and then of course promotional issues or layoffs or whatever it was, and it just kind of waned from there. So he's tried to make a little late career resurgence, but yeah, I think at this point, I mean, he's not in serious contention for any title or anything. So I think he's just doing it for the love of the sport, I assume, at this point. So yeah, that's the interesting one, and of course we'll see what Julian Williams can bring. This is like getting him back out there, and apparently at 160. So it'll be interesting. I will say he looked very good against Jarrett Hurd, and he wasn't able to capitalize off of that fully. And then of course he lost to Jason Rosario. He lost to Jason Rosario, but then after that, it's kind of just like a couple of disappointing showings, and we'll see if he's able to regain that fanfare that he was able to get at one point when people were viewing him as sort of that dark horse at 154 pounds, and of course 160. I mean, there's still room there as far as I'm concerned. You have some mainstays there, but it's fairly wide open with Canelo gone. So we'll see if he's able to be someone who can make some noise there.